This is the screencast for section 4.6, example number 6. We are going to add and subtract sinusoids, sometimes in the cosine version, sometimes in the sine version. Now, as you remember, a sinusoid is a sine curve that has been stretched, shrunk, shifted, etc., but it still vaguely represents a sine curve. Cosine is a sinusoid. Cosine is the sine curve just shifted over a little bit. So this green box in your book talks about the vertical stretch, horizontal stretch or shrink, and then horizontal shift left or right of each of the sine and the cosine graphs. Now if you notice, the sine vertical stretch or shrink and the cosine vertical stretch or shrink can be different. That's what A1, A2 means, or A sub 1, A sub 2. The horizontal shift, left or right, can also be different. H sub 1, H sub 2. However, the B value, the horizontal stretch or shrink, has to be the same in both sinusoids for the function to be periodic. So if we look at example 6, I have pre-graphed these functions just to show you visually what I mean when I talk about whether a function is sinusoidal. So, example 6a is a sinusoid because the B value for cosine, the first part of this sum, is 1. The B value for the sine function, the second part of this sum, is also 1. So this is a sinusoid, because B equals 1 for both of them. And you can see, this looks like it's taking the general shape of a sine curve. Now, for example B, 6b, this definitely does not represent a sine curve. It's periodic, it has some repetition, but it does not represent a sine curve. It is periodic, not sinusoidal. You notice the B value in the cosine part of this function is 5, but the B value in the sine function is only 3. So this is not sinusoidal. It is periodic. Just a good observation to make. Example C, again, the B value in front of the x for this first part is 3. The B value here is 2, so this will not be sinusoidal, and we can see it is not. It does have some repetition in there that begins to look like a sine curve, but then it does a funky little squiggly thing, and that's all over. So this is not sinusoidal. Or not a sinusoid, you could say that too. It is also not periodic. This function, a visual description of it would be that it is even. Oh, it actually could be. It could be periodic. Now that I'm seeing this little squiggly thing could be happening right here too. So it could be periodic. Definitely looks even, but it is not sinusoidal, and that is what the directions are asking me for. Now, part D, I can't graph because it doesn't tell me what the vertical stretch or shrink is of each of these parts. But I do know the B value for every single piece of this function is 3/7. So this will be a sinusoid. It will look vaguely like a sine function. I might have to adjust the window on my calculator once we figure out what A, B, and C are, but it will look like a sine function. The now try problem for example 6 is number 25. Determine whether f of x is a sinusoid. So I look at the first part, again, the coefficient out in front of cosine is 2, but out in front of sine is 1. That's no problem. It's the value in front of x that we need to worry about, the b value. Since b is pi, for both the first part and the second part, this is a sinusoid. And you may graph that on your calculator to see for sure. But I promise you, it is.